Well, hello, hello, hello. I hope you all are having a super duper fantastic day out there today. Look, you guys, it's Monday and I'm live at 5. Hey, I'm live at 5. Hey, I'm live at 5. Hey, I'm live at 5. Come on inside of the StreamYard room. Yes, it is a Monday. Hopefully, you all had an amazing weekend. The topic today is all about too little, too late. Now, if you know anything about the saying too little, too late, hey sissy, how you doing? That means that the information was good information, but you got it so late that it didn't make a difference. Do you understand? The information was good information, but you got it so late that it didn't make a difference. Well, look, I definitely have experienced this recently, and I want to give you the nuggets that I have for you today. Put it in the chat. Too little, too late. My name is Denise Merriweather. I am the CEO and founder of Queenpreneur's Jumpstart Program. It is the #1 training environment for women in the world looking to leverage their knowledge, ignite their passion, and build a highly profitable business. And how do you do this? By building your courage, confidence, and competence so you can accept, believe, and commit to what it is that God has called you to do. Go ahead and put it in the chat. Too little, too late. So look, I had a trip to DC on last Thursday. And it was just a one-day event. I did my thing. I came home. I did my live later on that night because I do this nightcap inside of my community, my spiritual community. And you guys, it was time for me to start working on my actual expenses. And I realized there was nothing in the contract for per diem. Put it in the chat. It wasn't in the contract. Put it in the chat. It was not in the contract. And let me tell you, I actually definitely had something to eat. I was there for a long time. I left my house at 5 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get back until 8 o'clock at night. Your girl did expect to eat. Do you understand that? If I'm on site for 12 almost hours, that you expect to eat something. But yeah, that was me. That was my life. So listen, I want to tell you that when I got back and realized that it wasn't inside of the contract, I was like, okay, let me follow up and just see whether or not I can expense these meals and stuff that I had. So I'm definitely in a debacle, like right now, trying to see whether or not these things will be covered. Do you get that? It's too little, too late. Put it in the chat. Too little, too late. Now, the things that I was supposed to ask and to get clear was the things that I needed to find out before I went to the event. Do you understand that? Put it in the chat. Too little, too late. And some of you guys may understand this and know this. So I want to help you out because it's not always just good for me to share with you when everything is going well. But let me tell you, when your girl is making some mistakes over here, I want to share that with you too. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm a quick learner. Put it in the chat. If you're a quick learner, I want you to put it in the chat. I'm a quick learner. If you ain't a quick learner, just say it take me some time. It take me some time. So I want to give the givings right now, even if it take you time or if you're a quick learner. Let me give you these 3 steps. So before you move forward with any type of agreement or arrangement that you're going to do something, show up somewhere, execute something, make some stuff happen, there's some things that you need to do. And I'm going to give you the top 3 right now. So the first thing is don't assume anything. Put it in the chat. Don't assume anything. So the reason why I didn't give any second thought to whether or not a per diem was included was because normally for meetings, per diems are included, right? I don't even think about it. It's like, oh my God, yeah, I'll expense this when I get back, no big deal. But then when I started looking through my account, cha-ching, because I was going back to see how much the per diem was, how much money hit my account before I went to the event. Now, mind you, now this checking happened after the event, but I went to go check because I assumed that no problem. I'm going to get a per diem. I could definitely get something to eat here, right? And thank God that I'm not a type of person that splurge because I have a per diem. Nope, I just eat what I need and what I don't, right? But I want you to get, because I made that assumption, I found out on the tail end that it's not even something that they offer for one-day events. Do you get it? For one-day meetings. That's just the contract that I had. Now, for those of you who want to make sure that these things are included and that you have what you need before you leave, the first thing is don't assume anything. Number two, check your paperwork. Like, read your contract. Like, check it out. You got to be looking for these things. Look to see whether or not these things are provided or in there, because sometimes we get overwhelmed because we feel like contracts may be too long. But that's all right. Hire yourself a lawyer, have somebody that can review the stuff for you if you don't understand the jargon, if you don't feel like you have time to read, if you feel like you just don't understand. But don't not check it out. Don't not look for things to make sure that you're covered and things are taken care of, right? So just make sure you read the contract, okay? For me, again, remember, I told you this was cookie cutter. For me, I didn't read the contract. I was just like, oh, okay, let me sign here. Boom, let me go. Boom. Yes, right? Because I do it so often. But don't assume anything. And then number two, you got to check the paperwork. You got to read. You got to read the contract, right? And then after you check out the contract, okay, you said check it out. LaShawn was like, yeah, check it out. Yeah, come on, y'all, check it out. Like, my bad, my fault. I'm telling on myself. I'm sharing with you my pain and agony for this week, for something that I did last week, meaning I already did the work. Now I'm trying to recoup money that I already spent. But here it is. And then number three, I need you to have a list of questions for your light bulb to come on, right? Because you're not going to know all the things, but sometimes when you start asking good questions, it actually leads you to other questions that you need to ask, right? So of course, now my question always going to be, well, is there a per diem for this trip? I'm going to be looking before I say yes. I'm going to make sure how long it's going to take, get some more information about what it's actually going to take for me to execute when I get there on site. I'm going to be asking a whole lot of questions because, see, that's going to determine or be a determining factor whether or not I say yes and whether or not I feel like it's worth my time, it's worth my effort, it's worth my trip or my gas. Like, you got to kind of get a handle on these things now, whether you're speaking, teaching, doing contractual work. You got to know what your value is. Put it in the chat. I got value. I talked about that a couple of weeks ago. And you got to know what your value is, because if you're okay with not getting a per diem, take the contract. If you're okay with not getting paid a full day just to go and do something small, sign the contract. But if you are not okay, if it don't work for you, if you would prefer something different, well, before you sign the contract, it's the time that you have to negotiate, right? I'm also in another situation right now where it's going to be either we're going to meet halfway in the middle where it's a win-win for everybody, or I'm going to walk away. And if the gloves don't fit, you must have quit. Can somebody just say walk away? So I don't want you to ever feel like you're trading your value or devaluing yourself in order to make something happen. And I get sometimes it's a nice chunk of change or maybe a large amount of money, but you got to get what's the long-term effect of you saying yes to something that don't align to you today. Will they come back and still not give you your value next year because you didn't position yourself in a way that you can actually increase your prices or get paid more or get paid fair value for what it is that you provide? And be careful of your counsel. Put this in the chat. This is a bonus. Put it in the chat. Be careful of your counsel. So you got to understand and be sure that the person that you're talking to, confiding in, or asking advice from is someone that have the same, I don't want to say value system, but they got to have value for themselves. Because if this is someone that don't value themselves and you asking them a question for you to be paid the amount that you deserve to be paid, or you want their advice on how to negotiate something, see, if they devalue themselves, they're going to tell you every time, oh, you don't want to miss out on the opportunity, or you don't want to miss out taking the money. I'm going to tell you, I had a conversation with 3 people about this situation that I have coming up tomorrow, the conversation I'm gonna have tomorrow. And every last one of them was like, oh, so what they gonna do then? What's the negotiation? What did they bring to the table? Not a one of them said, but you know what? You're already making this, so don't worry about it. Don't leave that money on the table. They was like, no. Because see, the thing that you don't want is to regret not standing up for yourself, not having a voice, not giving your value or your contribution value, and then allowing people to devalue you and then be mad on the back end when you got to do all the work. Nope, you're going to pay me the value that I know that I add, or I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going to do none of it. Do you understand the words that's coming out of my mouth? Yep, that's where I stand. That's where I am, because I get my value. Put it in the chat. I got value. And I want you to know that. And I want you to know that it's okay to walk away. Put it in the chat. It's okay to walk away, because sometimes we think that opportunities only come once in a lifetime. Yeah, maybe some of them, but I don't really subscribe to that. I believe that things come around full circle, right? I remember one time I wanted to see a particular artist, but it conflicted with my spiritual beliefs. Like the concert was on a Sunday. I had spiritual obligations. So guess what? I didn't go. I was just like, you know what? The opportunity is going to come full circle. And I want to say it might have been to see Shaka Khan or somebody perform at Altel Pavilion in North Carolina. Now, let me tell you what wound up happening. I took my little happy self to New York City to see Prince, the anthology tour. And guess who was there with him? Or guess who was there? It was Shaka Khan. So here's what I'm saying. All I need you to do is follow your values, know your values, do what you know is right. But get that sometimes when you think of the right questions, when you read the contract, and when you actually stop assuming that things are there that ain't there, it's too little, too late. Put it in the chat, too little, too late. Don't find yourself in a situation like me. That's my givens. This is my teaching for today. Too little, too late. Put it in the chat. Too little, too late. So check the paperwork. Don't assume anything, and have a list of questions so you can make sure that you get what you know that you deserve. Because if you come up with these questions after you sign on the dotted line, it's going to be too little, too late. Always looking forward to serving you. Hope that has been helpful. Let my pain be your lesson, okay? Let my pain be your game. Always looking forward to serving you. I love you. Yes, live at 5 a.m. I'm live at 5 a.m.